Okay, we are back, and this little video is going to be about dividing with fractions. I'm going to start with a little puzzle here, and this puzzle here is a situation where I have 3/4 cup salsa, and I need a 1/8 cup for each burrito I want to make. The question is, how many burritos can I serve with the 3/4 cup? And to do this problem, just so we know where we're going to first answer this question visually, and then we're going to calculate how we do this. And the calculation is going to require 2 observations. So the calculation will have a little detour, but it'll come back, and we will answer the question strictly by calculation. And you need to know it because most of the time you can't draw easily. So first thing I need this box represents 1 cup. So I need to first represent 3/4 cup of the salsa, and I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to break this up into 4. Let's see. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So if I split this up into quarters, so there I've split it up into quarters, and I can see. So that means I have how much salsa I have is 3 of those quarters. So now what I need to do is I need to make 1/8 servings. And so that's going to be splitting this up. So just as a little reminder, it's like I take a whole and I first divide it into quarters. And if I want to split this up into equal parts, I'm going to divide each of these quarters by half. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to divide each one of these quarters by half. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parts. Each part's worth 1/8. And I can see right now that the number of servings that I can serve is, so here's a serving is 6. So answer, I can make 6 servings. Okay, there's my visual method. What I did is I took 3/4 and I divided it by 1/8. So we're going to calculate this. But before we calculate this, we're going to make a couple of observations. Observation number 1. So I'll call it observation 1. And that is this little detail. If I have 2/3, what do I need to multiply it by in order to get 1? That means what will go over here. Now, of course, we can all see here what I'm going to need is I'm going to need 3/2, because 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6/6 is 1. And there's a name for this. So 3/2 is the reciprocal of 2/3. And 2/3 is the reciprocal of 3/2. So you can see all it is a matter of turning the fraction over. So this is observation 1. Here comes observation 2. And it comes by way of doing a little problem here. And I want to compare 2 problems here. I want to compare this problem here, 12 divided by 3, with 12 times 1/3. Now, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 12 times 1/3 is something we've done recently. I can change this whole number into a fraction by writing it as 12/1 times 1/3, and then I simply just multiply across. 12 times 1 is 12, 1 times 3 is 3, and 12/3 is the same thing as 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So the thing I should notice here is this. Well, isn't 3 the same thing as 3/1?
Yes.
Yes, and notice 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3/1. So this brings us to a very powerful little conclusion, and that is dividing by a number, any number, is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. reciprocal, if I could spell correctly. So dividing by a number, 12 divided by 3, is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So now let's use this over here. As a matter of fact, there's a annoying little phrase to remember that helps us do this, and that's dividing by a fraction is easy as pie. Flip the divisor and multiply. So I'm going to flip the divisor. The divisor in this case is what follows. So I'm multiplying a fraction. So I'm dividing by a fraction, easy as pie. Flip the divisor and multiply. So what is, if I flip this, the reciprocal of 1/8 is 8 over 1. The first value stays the same. So dividing by a fraction, easy as pie, flip the divisor and multiply. So now let's do this. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. And what is 24 over 4? Well, lo and behold, it's 6, which is exactly what we got when we did it visually. So, using the reciprocal, we can change any division problem into a multiplication problem to get our answer. So, 3/4 divided by 1/8 is equal to 3/4 times 8 over 1 equals 6. Now it's your turn.